for today's study group, that we could talk about something we haven't talked much about, which is the government is not doing very well right now. Big portion of the public in the U.S. is unemployed.
Because of our nation's high unemployment rate, Becky believes that the economy will collapse, causing the government to forcibly take over and declare martial law, which would dismantle democracy and strip American citizens of their basic constitutional rights.
Regular citizens have no idea what's going on. I just study things and put the clues together and go, I foresee the government takeover happening within the next year or two, honestly. I think that we have more problems in our government as a whole right now than ever before. They could literally come in with the army, call martial law. The city would look like chaos. The highways and the roads will be shut off because they're going to mandate who goes where. We won't have a water supply. They're going to hold the water for the most elite. We're going to be left surviving on our own with what we have already. We'll know when the government takeover has happened, when they actually knock on your door. And it's going to come by surprise. And then we'll wake up the next morning going, should have bought some food storage. I've spent close to $50,000 prepping, $30,000 in the last year. I probably spend about 4 hours a day thinking about prepping. That has prevented me from being in a long-term relationship. When I'm not in school, I spend all day, every day prepping. That's all I do.
Becky's preparations influence all facets of her life, including her current location. She looked at several apartments and finally settled on her present home.
I chose to live in this house particularly because the Capitol is literally right in my backyard. Having the Capitol right behind me is a constant reminder that the government could declare martial law and take over the city. So it's a blessing that I'm living so close to be able to put the clues together.
Many preppers do not disclose they have emergency supplies in fear of becoming a target, but Becky believes that collaboration is key to surviving a government takeover. So, she's invited her close friends Isaac and Spencer and new acquaintance Victoria for an informal gathering.
You guys know that I'm into prepping, right? And so, I just wanted to invite you over to try and show you what I have. I'm afraid for my friends that don't prep.
I have been thinking about preparing, but I just haven't ever done anything about it.
I see that the government's getting more and more control, and I honestly think that there'll probably end up being martial law, government takeover declared. Kind of have to have a backup plan thought out ahead of time. I'm really concerned about my friends and family, and you know, I just want you guys to be prepared too. So you want to see what I have?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Becky lives in an 1,800 square foot apartment and has a 200 square foot room dedicated entirely to her preps. The room holds nearly 100 gallons of water and over 4,000 servings of long-term food.
If the government takes over, we're going to run out of food. The trucks are going to stop moving. If the trucks stop moving in the country, we're not going to be able to get the food from the farms to the stores. So we're going to be stuck. You're going to need food storage. And this stuff is awesome. They come in Mylar bags.
Mylar bags are commonly used in prepping because they create a strong barrier against oxygen, allowing dehydrated foods to be stored for up to 20 years. Becky has 800 of these bags stowed away in what she calls grab-and-go buckets.
With one of these grab-and-go buckets that weighs 17 pounds, you know, let's check it out. If you had to run with one of those, that would feed you for about 2 months, one person.
Run with this?
Who knows if they were to show up on our front doorstep and say, okay, you no longer live here.
Becky believes that if martial law were declared, thousands of Salt Lake City residents would attempt to escape at the same time, which would make highways impassable and force them to travel by foot.
You will be on foot at one time or another. It's going to be really important to have something. Turn around, Spencer. Bug out bag is also known as a 72-hour kit. So if you have to bug out or get out of town, you have a backup plan.
Most preppers consider bug-out bags a necessity, and they are typically packed with food, water, and first aid supplies. Because Becky fears a takeover could happen at any time, having one is simply not enough.
I have several bug-out bags. my big bug out bag usually stays at home, but I have smaller ones that I keep in my car. Anywhere I go, I always have that safety net.
Take breaks unless you're being chased, but that would give you enough supplies for 72 hours.
Might be around
You can
maybe
clip it?
about 50 feet with that.
Yeah?
Becky believes that the lack of resources available in a government takeover will incite civil unrest, so self-protection will be as important as having food and water.
So you can imagine that when the government takes over, you're guarding your family, you're guarding your resources, you're guarding your food and water. People are going to want to get at it that don't have it. My intent isn't to scare you, it's just to prepare you. So if you don't have a gun, then you can get something like this. I mean, it's pretty easy. Just go like that and, you know, you can put them out for about 5 minutes.
Becky's stun gun works using only a 9-volt battery and can incapacitate an attacker by shocking them with up to 150,000 volts of electricity.
That's a lot of electricity going through there. I thought it was illegal. It's not.
She's always trying to convince other people to get into what she's doing.
I hope they'll realize the value in it and start preparing on their own.
I was very overwhelmed by the intensity of her preparedness, but it made a lot more sense to me as it went on.
With only a non-lethal weapon, how will Becky protect herself and her preps effectively? And what will the experts think? Becky Brown has spent $50,000 preparing for a hostile government takeover, in which she believes ordinary citizens will be deprived of basic necessities. She has 5 years of food storage and is prepping her friends for added support. But how will she defend her provisions from the violence she expects? Salt Lake City had over 13,000 property crimes in 2010. Becky fears that figure will only rise in a government takeover, as those who did not prepare take from those who did. To safeguard her preps, Becky is starting security training with her friend, a professional contract sniper whose identity must be concealed due to the high-risk nature of his occupation.
So, Bob, let's call him, he used to work in Iraq protecting officials. He's been in a lot of rough situations.
What kind of situation are we talking about? We're talking about like civil unrest kind of thing?
Yeah, like if the government takes over.
What kind of weapons do you have?
Yeah, that's what I was going to show you.
A stun gun is a non-lethal weapon that can only be used in close proximity when the electrodes are pressed against the attacker.
That'll do the trick if somebody is right in your face and on top of you,
right.
okay? But the key to this is you don't want to get that close.
Okay.
If intruders broke into Becky's home in search of food and water, her stun gun would only protect her temporarily, and only as far as she could reach.
How about this?
Okay,
A poker.
okay, we're getting someplace now. I would definitely use it as a club,
Okay.
okay?
Let's swap.
Yeah, not swat, hit them, like a home run,
Okay.
okay, across the head.
Bob is scary sometimes. I know he's trying to make me better, but it makes me nervous.
Bring all your weight down.
Like that.
That's a good start. We're gonna have to get you a firearms helmet.
Okay.
I don't have a gun. I'm
She
a girl.
asked for
I'm
it.
feminine. I'm not supposed to love guns, right? But you get in a different mentality when you're protecting your family and your home and the things that are most important to you.
An estimated 17 million women own or carry a firearm. And although Becky is not one of them, today she's taking Bob's advice and is learning how to defend herself with a lethal weapon.
When the government takes over, I will need to know how to shoot a gun. I will need to protect my food and my water, kill an animal, or to defend my friends and my family from predators of any sort.
Just line your sights up. You want to concentrate on the front side? Just squeeze the trigger. Don't jerk the trigger. Move your hand and grab it like that. Now, shoot with your dominant eye, but leave both eyes open. Can you do that?
No.
No? Not yet? Okay, we'll work on that. You're going to have to learn to do that.
I can't do that.
A hand pistol is ideal for engaging an enemy in close quarter combat when used with quick, accurate fire. But in a government takeover, Becky believes she will need offensive as well as defensive weapons. So if necessary, she can preemptively eliminate a threat without being detected. Today, with Bob's expertise, she She is training with a bolt-action sniper rifle, outfitted with a telescopic lens that guarantees optimal precision from up to 1,000 yards away.
I'm taking sniper training because then I could keep people as far away from me as I needed to.
This hand goes underneath. You support it. Make a fist. Pull it tight into your shoulder.
You want me to have it dead center vertically, right?
Today, Becky's bullseye is 200 yards, the equivalent of 2 football fields.
You hit it.
Did I?
Yes.
Sweet!
Hit. 3 for 3 at 200 yards.
Not quite 5 for 5. I got 3 out of 5. If there's a government takeover, I need to be 5 for 5, so I need to improve on that.
We're gonna need all of this if and when this happens.
Becky, the experts, practical preppers, commend you for training with a weapons expert and trying to involve other people in your prepping. However, if you have to leave Salt Lake City within a matter of minutes, it will be difficult to carry your supplies.
That's why I have a big frame hiking backpack, and so that's the thing that I would take if I were on foot.
Also, they advise that you create a water filtration system in case your city's water supply becomes compromised.
I totally agree that I need more water. I'm working on that.
Your food storage is adequate for yourself, but not for your friends. Keep pushing them to make sure they are prepared.
I have enough food storage for myself because that's who I'm planning for. I agree also that I need to teach my friends because friends can quickly become enemies if you're in a hostile situation.
While martial law has been declared intermittently throughout American history, it has not happened at a national level in the modern age. This constitutional power has only been used on small scales to regain order during an extreme crisis, such as Hurricane Katrina, when local governance broke down.
It's just so funny.
How crazy they are.